Hey, what is up here, guys? James Cool here today, and really quickly, I wanted to kind of respond to Coconut's video about being held hostage in Dead by Daylight. It's not really responding per se. It's more of I kind of want to go into why I think there's a bigger issue than just quote unquote three genning. To give you some information, though, I need to go over some things. First things first, the killer is highly led to believe, according to what everything that Coconut says, and I'll show evidence here in a moment, that it's CM9I. CM9I is the worst offender. He's basically a guy who's made his content all about holding three gens and playing like an absolute buffoon. What do I mean by that? CM9I is the guy who went against Team Eternal, got his ass kicked, and then said he was their dogs for some weird fucking reason. Here's the thing about CM9I is that I thought I'd make a little bit public. Bro's been doing this since he's had 180 hours. When he went against Team Eternal, he had like 1,000, 1,500 at that point, and that was back in March. So if you want to look up whenever he went against Team Eternal, go ahead. Okay? This just really kind of shows that CM9I has always been like this. He's always played like this. He's always been a loser. Negative rep, boring, and predictable taxes and lost to a 180-hour killer. LOL. Negative rep also teabagged at every pallet and then gave up after hook once. LOL. And just for more information, here's his actual profile. Like, you can literally see his fucking profile. He has 69 things, bro. You're a piece of shit and a sore winner. Like, literally. This guy is the definition of a loser. Okay? Now, CM9I is... Funnily enough, I mean, they removed the ability to see their hours on their profile because we used to be able to. Now, why is this important? Okay. Now that we've went over who this guy is and why he's relevant, okay? Because,
however, was using the old Skull Merchant build that Team Eternal faced when they made that hour-long Skull Merchant match.
this person, he never, I want to say this, he never specifically states that this is CM9I, and he constantly hides the name. But if we just go to right here,
and old Skull Merchant, the singularity would be the killer needing a nerf. Every killer would be needing a nerf. Thus, the problem was not a killer issue, but a gameplay mechanics issue. His battle was a spiritual one with the man who'd gotten Skull Merchant nerfed.
with the man who got Skull Merchant nerfed. If this is the case, that's just CM9I. If CM9I is not who you're referring to and had nothing to do with this, why mention him at all? Okay? Because there's no fucking point. You just literally show this, not mention the guy's name, and it would still hold as much value. So at this point, it's really safe to assume he's referring to CM9I. CM9I is now playing Singularity and being a fucking loser as him and whatever other killer he can possibly just hold three gens with. Again, this is what he's done. This is what he's built his whole career over. I'm not afraid to say that. CM9I has always been a piece of shit. Now, when this video was originally released, people were actually attacking this guy, the guy who sent Coconut the video. This guy sent Coconut the video because he was very afraid that CM9 playing like a loser was going to lead to Singularity getting nerfed. Why? Because he likes to play Singularity. Now, the thing with that is that no, that's not going to lead to Singularity getting a fucking nerf. That's Singularity being a fucking loser. I mean, that's CM9I being a fucking loser. That's nothing to do with Singularity. Okay? Until Nurse and Blight gets nerfed, if they nerf Singularity, I'm gonna fucking riot, bro. Anyway, some people are pointing out the survivors, while other people pointing out the killer. Look, guys, it's never okay for the killer to go into a game with the mindset of, I'm going to hold the game hostage for an hour and make everyone suffer. That person needs to go get mental help and get some fucking help, bro. Because their motive isn't to play the game and try and win or have fun. Their motive is literally to make other people suffer. That is it, bro. I don't. I'm sorry, but when you go into a match and your whole purpose is to drag it out, you're playing to be an asshole. Okay? Now, why do I mention this video? Because it actually gives me a very segue into what I've been trying to word Because I've been trying to word this, but I do such a bad job. So maybe with the help of a person with a bigger, involuntarily help. I mean, I've not asked them, but if I can fucking sit here and show what I mean using this video, I will be so happy. Okay. So what happens is the game lasts for 59 minutes, and they only
Half spawned on me. All up.
wait.
Yeah.
I'll let this play through real quick.
I
Teabag,
just wanna
teabag.
be
Yeah, I would
free.
teabag too, dude. Like literally.
Before guilty,
Because we
yeah.
don't know how long the match has.
Mm-hmm. 59. Coconut's already done it for me.
He's level 2.
Yep.
There's his perks. Name is blurred, which again, if this is who we think it is, it's just Sam9I. If it's not, why the fuck are we mentioning him? Anyway, so Call Run, Overcharge, Eruption, Surge, or whatever the fuck it's called currently, with a Mori. If he moried her at the start when he could have, you know what that means? That means if he just let her bleed out, which it takes 4 minutes, he would have died to the hour mark. just to add a grim reminder that the only reason that that even one person got out, because this guy didn't do that. So, what does Coconut decide to do?
Move around the map.
I want to play devil's advocate.
He wants to play devil's advocate. Fuck yeah. Now this is what I'm talking about, bro. Coconut's gonna fucking sit here with his 9,000 hours, and he's gonna show us how insane this is. Can a typical player do this? Well, you have 9,000 hours. Okay, so surely with 9,000 hours, you'll be able to perfectly do what you need to do to get your point across. I'm saying this as a joke. I mean, he's made content way longer than me. He's Coconut's a chill dude. My issue is, however, when you go into this, you don't even run any slowdown. So, no, this doesn't show anything. This doesn't prove anything. You end up losing the 3-gen at 30 minutes in.
Biopod placements, 57.
And survivors end up escaping with the only kill being gotten thanks to No Way Out.
And the rest went free.
Even then, I think it's insane that he managed to hold the game for 30 minutes exactly, give or take. That's like nutty to me. But I mean, again, Coconut has 9,000 hours. He showed it itself. Now,
And survivors, multiply that by 3 because I only.
what we're seeing here is what he's doing, what he did that game, and he's going to multiply that.
Did like about half of the maximum time limit, and then you got a bit of a rough estimate of what you'd need to do. And now to answer the age-old question, does Singularity need a nerf? I think the answer lies in you.
So he's telling you to give your own opinion, okay? And then he does this. I don't understand this portion here because this. If you really wanted a good idea of what to do, just go count CM9I's shit. Like that's a bit much to ask. Okay, so I actually don't blame him there. However, you also can't say this is exactly it. This number does nothing. So he's took what he did beforehand and multiplied it by 3. Is what he said, right? 3? I'm not gonna, I don't care. Anyway, what I wanted to get to is, and show everything that's happened is, because I don't think the issue is singularity or, don't get me wrong, 3-genning is an issue and should still be looked at individually. I think it's substantially made worse by the means of slowdown perks. The Coconut didn't run any, and the survivors got a 3 out against him. And as far as I know, Coconut's chill and he plays really nice. Okay, if we're talking about just a normal killer who does not care how people view them and they're just wanting to fucking be as sweaty as possible, they'll just tunnel someone out at 5 fucking gens, bro, while running 4 slowdown perks, which is what you see at high MMR all the time. Just some dude going after the same fucking person, running a shit ton of slowdown perks, and then they wonder, why are the survivors mad at me? I just want to play to win! Dude, it's not, no one has an issue with you wanting to win the game. We have an issue because you're not, no one wants to fucking play a comp tournament 24/7, okay? Now, to give an example, right? Imagine if Coconut had any slowdown perks, just any at all. He could have turned that 1K into a 2K, 3K, 4K, just at all, depending on how the match went. I don't know. I'm not going to watch that match because it doesn't hold any real ground, per se. Okay? Now, Coconut, to give you a little bit of backstory on who Coconut is as well, Coconut does some weird, like, he releases weird shit. Okay. Coconut also showed his subscribers at one point how to take the game hostage as fucking Pinhead by standing on the box. And that's why Pinhead got that removed, is because people started copying that. Which, I mean, it's a good thing he showed it, but, like, I don't. A lot of people then started actually abusing that and doing it in real games. So imagine one day you're just playing DBD and you go and see a Pinhead just sitting on a box and you're not allowed to do the generators because, like, that it has ruin and dying before it was changed. Yeah, it was a very bad situation. Okay, what do I mean by slowdown is the bigger issue? Okay, let's use Pain Rose. Okay, and keep in mind Pain Rose wasn't even in the build, so this is just an example, and I'll go into other slowdown. Pain Rose is when you hook a survivor on a Scourge hook, it consumes a token and regresses the gen with the most progress by 25%. Right? Okay, cool. Let's say you down a survivor. They're kind of in the corner of the map. You zone them really well and you get a really fast down. Um, and that gen that they were working on was like really close. Like it was like 90, 99. So you hook them. All right? Okay, cool. So that gen goes from 99 to 73, 74%. And it's, again, maybe in the corner, maybe it's in the middle of the map. Doesn't matter. Okay, no one popped it in time, so it's now regressing. It went down a lot, and it's regressing. What's your plan now? Okay, cool. So, a survivor needs to get off their gen and come rescue that person, because chances are the killer should be chasing someone else, right? If not, that's fine. The killer can just patrol around, make sure there's no one touching the gen, no one near. Usually they'll leave, or they'll find someone who was coming from the unhook. Okay, when this happens, that survivor's interrupted. Another person needs to get off their gen and come back. Okay? Once that person is getting off their gen and coming back, chances are the survivor who was seen first is going to get hit. This is all hypotheticals. Just bear with me. Okay? That survivor who got hit is two things will happen. The killer will continue to chase them, or go back to the hook. If they go back to the hook, we're going to find the other guy unhooking. Now, again, at any point, the other survivor could have just traded as well and made another gen regress. Again, it's the gen with the most progress, right? So let's say that your team had two gens. One was 90, one was 50, and all this time that, the time it took to trade, it's maybe at 75 now. That gen's back down to fucking 50. And again, no one's touched that first original gen that's been regressing. Keep that in mind. So, what happens is this gen that was at 99% has went down to 73, 74, and it's just been regressing this whole time all this has been happening, so now it's at like 50. One token, one perk can lead to a gen going from done to going to fucking 50, bro. And that's insanity to me. Like, I don't understand how that's not an issue to people. Because I don't want to have to do fucking 10 gens to fucking leave a game as Survivor, bro. Okay? That's one perk. Pop has the same issue. Pop is literally just a manual pain res for 5% more aggression. And you can technically combine the two if a survivor does touch the gen. So that gen's still going from fucking 90 to fucking 30 or 40%, dude. And then you can do Jolt. If a survivor goes down near your gen, it gets regressed, and chances are the killer's going to push you off that gen, or they're going to slow down stack and probably have pain res or pop. So guess what? Your gen went from 80 to like 20 to 30%. And again, that if it's pop, dude, that can happen infinite amount of times, bro. There's no real limit on pop. Why do you think people run them both? My point of this is, and my final takeaway to all of this is, 3-genning needs to be looked at, but at the same time, I don't see a world where survivors need to do fucking twice as many objectives that is actually listed to get out of the fucking game. That's just my opinion. I don't think it should be a thing. Okay? I'm not saying survivors should, get a free out. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, killer, because not running slowdown on killer is really stressful. I do understand that. I get that. You don't need it to fucking win though. You can still win without slowdown. I mean, but I mean, a lot of survivors have adapted their playstyle to be customary to go against all these slowdown perks. Why do you think that, like, when you're not running slowdown perks, your gens go fucking by fast? Because the survivors don't know what fucking perks you're going. Every person who goes into high MMR is just going in with the expectation that you're gonna run fucking 2 to 3 slowdowns at the minimum. So everyone has to play sweaty because the possibility of you just literally degressing everything is there. I've not been playing DBD much recently because there's not been a point. Okay, I can't actually enjoy myself in the game because all it is gen humping simulator for both sides. You can't, like, if I go to have fun and try and fuck around, I get punished for it, like, way too much. Like, you can't, like, it's to the point where you can't even play the game how you want. You actually have to conform around certain playstyles. And if people don't do that, they can throw the entire game for people. Take a very look at people who bitch about distortion, like Zubat, for example, right? And in one of his videos on the game, you had this chick just constantly fucking healing herself with distortion through Sloppy Butcher while using self-care in the corner of the fucking map. And don't get me wrong, Zubat admitted himself, like, he kind of fucked the game because he fucked up a skill check. Right? Like, yeah, it happens, and that led to more people dying. I don't ever think I've seen a more perfect, like, was what Zubat had to go on there is the perfect example of survivors also had the simulation of they can no longer make a mistake, or it throws the entire fucking game. It goes both ways now. Okay? And that's fine. However, I don't want that to be the case for either side. Okay? That's my personal opinion. I want DBD to go back to when it was chill and you could just play to have fun. And I think a big way to do this, like at least a band-aid for all this shitty balancing that we have to go through, we have bots now. Just remove the DC penalty. Straight ass, bro. If the killer can disconnect as well, this isn't just a survivor being a big baby issue. The killer can also be a big baby and disconnect if they don't want to go against shit. I don't see the issue with it. If the game ends, if the killer DCs, I'm happy with it. Not only does the guy not have to put up with our shit, he can just go to the next fucking game and get out of there. Take a break, dude. He doesn't have to get banned for like he doesn't have to get banned. Like he just shouldn't be punished for it. Same with survivors, bro. If I get a nurse and I see pain res, I just go and die on the hook. I'd rather disconnect and give my team a bot, but I ain't getting fucking penalized for 3 days. Fuck that. I ain't getting a 30-second ban to where if I leave again, it gets longer and it persists for like I think it like currently lasts like 2 days or 3 days. Where if you do any disconnection within that time period, your DC penalty gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It could only be that. I don't know the specific, but I think that kind of proves my point a little bit. Um, so just to summarize it all up, CM99 has always been a loser. He is the worst offender when it comes to 3-gens. However, as you can see, with Coconut having 9,000 hours, it's not necessarily 3-genning itself. There's bigger issues like gen slowdown. Let's say you couldn't stack slowdowns for like CM9I does. You know what he would do? He would just start tunneling people at 5 gens. That's it. That's how he would change his playstyle. He would just start tunneling people at 5 gens. And then just go back to still having slowdown, like some form of slowdown perks, Like, again, you need slowdown. Like, slowdown should still be allowed on killer, but maybe not to the degree it is now, you know? Alright, well, that's all I'm saying. The only idea I've ever had is, like, recently is to make a underlining, like, a threshold. Once a survivor reaches that threshold, it cannot regress past it. Good example would be at the 50% marker. I think that's a little bit fair. Is that if you get a gen to 50%, it can't go past 50%. Slowdown perks still work on it, but you can never just have this indefinite area. Maybe that's what behavior's doing. I don't know. Maybe they're doing something like that. I'm just saying, man. Maybe that's why we haven't seen perk reworks, is because they're trying to work on systems like this. We'll see in the future. Anyway, that's my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give me your opinions. I'd love to hear it. If this video doesn't pop out for me, I don't care. I'm just vibing, man. I'm taking a break from DBD because there's no point in playing a game to where every game is just like literally the same 5 perks on both sides. It's not just fucking killer. If you only play one fucking side, try the other side, dude. You have to commit to it though. You can't just play a couple of games and be like, well, it was really easy. Because that's not how fucking MMR works. Thank you. Bye.